Jevon Holland, he is the number 1 graded safety in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. Monster game Sunday against the Broncos. And now, as we've mentioned, you'll be ready to face off against the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen on Sunday. So take us through the feeling on the sidelines. It becomes apparent Sunday that Tua is in a zone. The defense is in a zone. The running backs are in a zone. Like, it's the offensive line. I can't forget to give love to the O-line.
Yeah.
Do you know kind of immediately, and Tua started the game 16 of 16. Do you know kind of immediately, like, we got this one? Like this is going well.
No, I think offensive, when the offense is firing in high cylinders, you're like, okay, the offense is really going. And the offense is really picking up. So now it's really on us because we know that they're going to produce plays. We know that they're going to score. We have to be able to stop their offense. So after a couple of series, and you kind of figure out how the game is going to go, who they're trying to get the ball to. And then from there, you can tell by end of the second quarter, maybe midway through. But you really never know, man. In the NFL, and anybody can beat anybody at any time. You know what I mean? So you really want to stay on your toes throughout the course of the game because you don't want to let up once you get that lead. And so that's why I wanted to stay in the game. Even in the fourth quarter, they're still, throwing the ball downfield and whatnot. So it's opportunities for us to one, make plays, but also practice things that we haven't got, full speed reps at. So it's never a point where you look up and you're seeing the offense and Raheem and Devon, they're fine, which you notice and go, wow, these guys are going crazy. And especially with Devon, he's a hell of a talent. Whew, man. But it's never a point where you're like, all right, yeah, we can chill. You never want to chill. Never.
Yeah, Jevon, man. Why ain't you give up the heads up on Achane? You done talked to us twice. You ain't tell us the man can go for 4 touchdowns, 200 yards. You should have gave us a heads up.
I just let him introduce himself, man. He did all the work he needed to do to introduce himself.
And did he introduce himself?
That's when you're sitting there watching somebody like that run, because you see Tyreek, but I remember when Ted Ginn came to the Dolphins and I saw him run the first time. I was like, goodness gracious, he's not touching the ground. Like they fly like that. You see that? You saw that early. You knew he was just a special talent.
Yeah, absolutely. It happened with Raheem and it happened with Devon. So first, my sophomore year with Raheem, it doesn't look like he runs fast. Like he just kind of glides and he is moving. And then when you get out there against him in practice, it's like, okay, like this guy's got some speed. Then with Devon, it's kind of the same thing. He doesn't really move his shoulders much. He's very stiff, but he is hitting those gaps, shoulders down. So in practice, you're watching it, you're seeing him do his thing, and he's getting his reps in. You're like, okay, this guy's got some speed. But then in the game, then you see it live speed, and wow, I was shocked. I was shocked.
My son had texted. My son does not ask me for fantasy. He's in college. Mm-hmm. Does not ask me for any kind of advice. Forgets I do sports radio. Like he doesn't know. Texts me 3 hours before the game. Hey, what do we think about Devon Achane? Before the game, it was Achane. Now I know it's Achane. Yeah. But he's like, what do we think? And I'm like, nah, Mostert's going to get the carries this season as long as he stays healthy. I think Ahmed, when he comes back, I said, I don't think Achane's going to get a lot of carries because he was going to trade for him. So he didn't trade for him in his fantasy team. And I was the guy that was responsible for that. Anyway, shows you what I know. Shows you what I know about the game of football. Listen, the most amazing thing is that we've been doing this show for 10 years, and then we've had them fooled for this long. Well, how about you? 2 forced fumbles. Talk about the second one. Cortland Sutton, he catches the ball. Looks like he's going to get by you, and you stick with him, and you end up punching the ball out. That has to be like textbook technique, right? You have to hear from coaches after that, right? That just say, that is, the epitome of not giving up on the play and completely turning it around.
Yeah, we practice that a lot. It's called circle chase with our special teams coach, Danny Crossman. And we drill those in training camp over and over again, early in OTAs, just talking about the opportunities we can make for ourselves, creating turnovers in the game and unexpected sudden changes. So when the opportunity presented itself, obviously I had to take it. But a lot of people saying I missed the first tackle, I was punching at the ball the first time. So when he squared up with me, it was kind of like the one earlier in the game where he squared up and I was able to hammer fist, but he squared up with the ball hanging low. So I took the opportunity to secure with my right hand and punch with my left. He happened to spin to my momentum of me pulling him pulling him towards me with my right hand, and I was already moving out to the left, like towards the sideline. And when he spun, he had to like drop step, so he couldn't just keep his momentum going forward. And when that happened, he immediately dropped the ball again outside, and I was right there. He didn't see me. I was like, this is – I saw the ball like light up in my eyes. I saw, oh, yeah, it's beautiful right here. I got it. Another one. So, yeah.
and Jevon, is no matter what your answer is, I've already told this to about 14 radio stations. So no matter what you say, yes or no, it's already out there. But I said when it was the same guy, I've heard Peanut Tillman talk about it's guys I know I can get the ball off of watching film, like they how they run, the way they secure the ball. So was there any film study involved with I know that I can get the ball off Sutton?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I was watching all week, and just the way, like after catch, how he puts it away, catches the ball and runs. It's different from intermediate catches to, longer passes to screens, things like that, gadget plays that he might get. But all week I was watching film on majority of the receivers and running backs and how they carry the ball. And it's also a period that we have in our own meetings that we emphasize takeaways and turnovers and opportunities that we'll get. So I was really studying those hard, because a lot of people, especially DBs, don't realize, like, you punch the ball out and we recover it, it's the same as a pick. Like, it's the turnover right then and there. You could do something wrong, blown coverage, they could get a big, long run. You punch the ball out and get it back, it's just like getting a pick. You turn around, it's offensive ball. So that's why I got to put in my head, like, I can create turnovers just as easy as, I can get an interception. It can be thrown right to me. I can go punch the ball out, because a lot of the time when those guys are in the hole, they're tucking it. But when they come out, they're trying to open up and run. The ball gets loose. And that's right where I am at, right around that second level. So I got to, add that more to my game, study Peanut Tillman and Marlon Humphreys. I actually hit up Marlon, asked him for some tips, and he was just saying, just always think about the ball. So I'm going to just add that to my game and, make that my thing, because I really want to take advantage of that, those opportunities I get to punch that rock out.
They were driving at that point too. Like that was a big punch out, because they actually had a little bit of something going there. Now they were behind a ton of points, but they still, it started 100%. To gel a little bit for them. So you kind of know, as you're lining up for the snap, you're thinking to yourself, someone gets it, I got to go for Sutton especially, but I got to go for the punch out here. Like I got to get a turnover here.
Yeah, they're getting some momentum, and mostly in my head I'm thinking, okay, what's my job? What I got to do? But it's also like, hey, we need a turnover. Like, it starts and ends with the DBs. We need to make something happen. So once that happens and they catch the ball, anytime there's a free runner or somebody's out in the open field, I'm always thinking, like, how do I ball? Like, I need to get the ball out. So that's like you see what Jerry Jeudy was running. He caught it like a little slant. We were in I'm not gonna tell it. I almost slipped up. But he caught the ball, so I'm running after him, and he's getting to the sideline, and we call it ball body boundary, where you catch the ball, and if you're to the sideline, you protect your body, protect the ball with your body to the sideline. So he didn't have that. Ball was on the inside hand, and I'm running after him, and I'm seeing it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's right there. So I punch it out, but it ended up going out of bounds. But no, that just doing that like consistently feels good. Like, oh yeah, I know I can. And it's all about your target, because a lot of guys punch willy-nilly, end up, breaking wrists, forearms, fingers. But if you really have a good eye and can target the ball in the weak points and the different techniques, like if they're holding it up here, you punch. If it's they're trying to stiff arm you, it's the crossbody hammer, things like that. So you just take advantage of where they lack, and a lot of the time they're lacking in that ball security, because they're thinking about you trying to tackle them instead of you trying to punch the rock out.
And just, man, here you talk about football. It's just crazy, because I didn't think this much. I was just trying to get the guy on the ground. I was, oh, please, Lord, don't let him get through this hole and run me over. But then it was funny when you caught yourself about telling the coverage, the disguising of it. Coach, because y'all disguise it, like y'all do a lot of stuff where and I see you rolling the stuff. I won't even reveal what I see, but the disguise of it, do they tell y'all where to disguise, or they put it on y'all to show, and know where you should show the quarterback you're at, and then you can do what you need to do, your responsibility?
Right. A lot of the time, it's kind of built into the game plan, but sometimes, it's really on us to give those little small details to try to throw the quarterback off, because, like right before the snap, this is the way I think about it. Right before the snap, the quarterback has to look at the ball, especially in shotgun. He's got to look at the ball to catch it. And so when he looks down to see that ball, that's when I want to move out to my actual spot. You know what I mean? So anything pre-snap, I'm trying to give them, BS basically. And then right when he has to look down to catch that snap, that's when I want to move and confuse him.
Yeah, see
All right,
that, even that, Hawk. I was just terrified of one of them guards hitting me in the face. He's looking at the quarterback's eyes and stuff.
I mean, you can tell, like, the thought process is so deep, man. Like, I mean, for me who's never played, like, the thought process of, like, each play and whatever, like, I never, and then, having spent the last 10 years with Crowder, I certainly didn't learn any of that stuff. So, yeah, it's really, like, that. It's eye-opening.
Yeah, especially, but at linebacker and D-line, like, you guys are in, like, fighting every play. It's a car accident every play. It's very physical in the trenches. So at safeties, I have more space to be able to make things right or see it differently, move around, confuse the quarterback. And a lot of the time, quarterbacks get a lot of information from DBs because we have so much space, kind of get anxious to, like, move forward and show disguises and whatnot. So yeah, that was the first one.
He's got to dump that, Dan. Did you dump that?
He's got it.
Show disguises and whatnot.
You had 3 weeks.
Yeah. All right, I'll adjust. But no, like Crowder said, like, taking on those offensive linemen, me personally, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't sign up for that. I would rather, do a lot more of the thinking mental process. But it is difficult for sure.
Jevon Holland, again, he's going to be with us every Tuesday here at Hollywood Kia, Pembroke Road, and 441. And we've had a good string of 3 weeks so far. We're hoping that it continues this way. So let's talk about a topic that everyone was talking about after the game. You're at 70 points. Coach McDaniel decides against going for 73. What was your thought? Should you put up 73?
I mean, you're already there. You might as well. I mean, it would have been one thing if it was like 4th down and we're on, like, the 48-yard line, But we're on, like, what was, like, the 20?
It's a chip shot.
It's a chip shot. Let Jason go ahead and kick it in there. Boom. And then kick off. I mean, what Chosen say? Should have just went to 100. I mean, might as well. We was already at 70, so a couple more scores.
I don't like Crowder. I was off yesterday, so I didn't hear your thoughts on it, Crowder. But that was my thought was kind of like, if you're already putting up 70, you're not embarrassing them more at 73. And I kind of understand if you could run out the clock, take a knee and run out the clock. Okay, you do the classy thing. But you're just turning the ball over on down. So you're kind of forced. You have to make a decision, and it's a chip shot. What was your take, Crowder?
My thing is that you're already up that much. You're not embarrassing the Broncos any more than beating them by 50 and 53. And also that it's a record that was made in 1966 for a fan base, for football, for the fun of it. Hawk, it's what me and you argue about. We love offense. We love points. Let's go get it. Nobody scored 73 since 1966. Go get a record, and it's not hurting anybody. And I'll reveal my quick take. Maybe you might see it tonight. You're talking about respect football. How about respect defense and stop Tyreek and Achane and all these boys from running the ball down your damn throat? Vance Joseph, respect defense. Disrespect defense if you have to, because that's not football. Let somebody score 70 points. Go get that record. It would be great for the Dolphin organization, the players. When Javon's son, his great-grandson sees 74 scored, Jevon can say, you know what? I played in that game back in 2023.
Right. I agree.
Did anyone in the locker room talk to Jason Sanders? Do you know what he wanted to do?
I didn't ask Jason. I'll ask him, though, and tell you his response next week. But honestly, man, you play football through all 4 quarters. And, yeah, you can change, you know what I'm saying, personnel and put the 2s in, the 3s in. But we trying to score points. We trying to crush this team. I'm trying to dominate this man in front of me every snap, trying to impose my will upon him. That's a defensive mindset. So for the offense to just take a knee, I mean, it is what it is. But in my mind, I would have went for a touchdown.
Sanders had his helmet on, by the way, and was on the sideline because the TV broadcast.
He's got to be ready, though, because he doesn't know what's going to happen. And it wasn't like Mike McDaniel walked over and talked to him. I had these 2 thoughts. One, Jason Sanders had a couple rough misses last season, maybe one this season. He was 10 for 10, though, on extra points, which is unbelievable. 10 for 10 on extra points in one game. So I wonder if Mike McDaniel's thinking to himself, I can make Jason Sanders a forever hero because he'll be the guy that breaks the record. Dolphins fans will always remember Jason Sanders kicking it. Or I wonder if Mike McDaniel says, man, I'm putting him under a ton of pressure here because everyone knows he's going to be running out just to break a record. And what if he does miss it? And then after this huge win, he's got to answer questions about not being able to hit the chippy at the end. So I don't know. There's like a whole bunch of I don't even know if Mike McDaniel went that far in thinking it. I don't know.
But no, I didn't even think about. Honestly, I didn't even think about it like that. That is, now that you said that, a lot of pressure. If you miss that, he's like, what's the guy from Barry Finkel? Like, if you just miss that kick,
Sanders is Finkel.
Finkel
is
Sanders.
Sanders.
You know what I mean? That's crazy. I really didn't even think about that. That's a great point.
Yeah, I wonder if Mike McDaniel was thinking that.
And another special teams thing, because you say you run down on kickoff, Jevon. After about 6, I'd have told Coach, I'm not going back out there, run down, do this wind sprint no more.
Bro, I was running. I'm wondering why I'm so tired in the game. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm running wind sprints. They like run through the 25. Like, all right, yes, Coach. You know, you trying to make Coach happy. I'm like, bro, we booting it out the end zone. Like, come on, bro. So, but I mean, my backup is Cater. So, you know, hey, Cater was on defense too a whole game. So I was like, you know, it's all right. Just push my conditioning. So that was basically that. But they took me off on one of them. Cater came and got me, but then they returned one. I was like, damn.
Yeah,
I
told him my stomach hurt.
I know you don't love to talk about yourself, but because the other week I said you could talk about this, that, and you said, oh, let's talk about Andrew Van Ginkel. Your star is rising. Everyone knows it. Anyone that follows NFL media, you're the top graded safety, I said, by Pro Football Focus. Like, your star is rising. Are you hearing from media? Like, are you getting a lot of media requests? Are you getting texts from players or former players, coaches? Like, you're having a breakout season.
Yeah, I'm hearing it. You know, my dad's an ex-pro and he loves ball through and through. So he's sending me all this stuff, just telling me to, you know, motivating me and whatnot. But I'm hearing it. But, you know, a lot of the time it's easier to manage being the underdog than it is to be, you know, the star player. You know what I mean? So right now I'm just kind of letting that be smoke and mirrors and me focusing on what I can handle today. Because I don't want to get ahead of myself. You know, it's fun and it's dope that I'm getting the recognition that I feel like I deserve. But at the same time, I haven't done anything in the league. You know what I mean? I haven't done anything that deserves notoriety in my head. And so that's just the standard I have for myself. And I planning on continue to help my team win in any way, shape, or form. But my goal is to be the most complete player I can be. So that's what it is. And the end goal, of course, in everybody's thought process is W. So that's what's on my head.
And
yes, sir.
What is it? The defense? Is it your maturity? Is it just like you saying? We talked a couple weeks ago. You were like you literally stay in the lab learning football. Like Hawk said, you were always a great player. Everybody knew you could play ball, but bro, it's something else to be. You're titled right now as the #1 safety in the world. Like, did something change become this? Because you're, bro, the tackling, the punching out the football, you're creating turnovers, you're leading in tackles. Like, it's a different level right now.
I think it's mostly aligning. Everything's just aligning. The defense, the scheme, my preparation, my thought process. And then, you know, the plays are coming to me, man. The plays are coming to me. The opportunities are there and I'm taking advantage of them. And I'm trying to create opportunities for myself, for my other teammates. And I'm trying to help them win. That's the thought process. I don't think it's anything different from what I had to do last year or the year before that. I have the same mindset of wanting to help my team win in any way, shape, or form. So, yeah, man, it just happened to be on a team with, you know, Tyreek and Tua and people are watching the game now. So, I think that's the thought process. You know, when you're on a winning team, everybody eats from W. So I think it's great that this is happening, and I'm loving it, and I'm gonna keep on playing hard and sacrifice my body, glorify my soul.
It is fun as hell to watch, man.
Ask for free stuff because you're on top right now. Ask for free stuff while you're on top.
All right, I got you. All right, bet. I'm a.
That's savvy veteran advice right there.
Yeah,
that
man.
Is savvy veteran
that
advice.
08 year, the only year I went to the playoffs was 08. Every store, restaurant I went in, I walked to the cash register and asked them, on the house? On the house?
You pulled that card. Man. I feel you. I might have to start doing it.
Crowder was doing that at UF before there was NIL. Crowder's been doing that for a long time.
Well, I really on the house.
I got to ask before you leave here. You had that cookie line at Blueprint Cookies last week.
Yeah.
And one of the cookies, we tried them on the show. One of the cookies was the Disappearing Delights, which was your mom's brownie recipe, but in cookie form. And so what did she think?
She loved it. She said she ate it, and she said, I know this recipe. This is exactly what I put together. I said, yes, it is, Mom. I told him to make it word for word. So she loved it. My uncles and my dad, they loved it. My brother loved it. Everybody that tried them said they were great. So I'm just happy everything turned out well. And today I'm going to the animal shelter, and maybe I might pick up a kitten. Maybe I won't. Depends on if I can convince my girlfriend to walk out of there.
Yes. That's my dude, Crowder. Likes Hall & Oates, likes a cat. This is my dude here, Crowder.
You know cats kill babies.
Good thing I ain't got no babies, man. And it's going to be some time before I got some. I can definitely wait.
Jevon Holland, he will join us every Tuesday here at Hollywood Kia. By the way, Crowder will be with us next Tuesday because he's got the week off from inside the NFL. But you can always come out, take a picture with Jevon, say hi. Good luck Sunday against Buffalo. We have already gotten more than we bargained for this season. Let's keep it going, man. This has been fun as hell.
Let's do it.
We'll take a break. We'll come back with more Hochman and Crowder.